So for anybody watching this, I'm interviewing Pete McDowell from our Action Coach team, and he's here in Columbus, Ohio with us. Hi, Pete.
Good morning, Craig.
And Pete's one of our more tenured franchise partners. He's been around about as long as I have, almost a couple of years shy of what I've been here. But
yeah, it's been 16 years, Craig.
It's been amazing, and it's been a great ride. I'll tell you what.
Yep.
I still remember our very first phone call, Pete, way back then.
Oh, you do? I don't.
Yeah. I still remember a phone call from you in the post office too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got me on that one. Yeah. What are you doing at the post office? You need to stop that.
Yeah, you can pay someone to go to the post office for you.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. But at any rate, Pete, why don't you just share a little bit about your background? What did you do pre-Action Coach? Why did you look to get out of that? And how did you hear about Action Coach in the first place?
Sure. Yeah, again, it was quite a while ago. It actually was 16 years ago this summer. And I had, for 25 years, managed operations in unionized chemical plants. So I worked with Stauffer Chemical Company for quite a few years, and then Occidental Petroleum, and managed operation in a chemical plant. And I'm a degree chemical engineer by training. Oxy was a great company. I was with them in a couple different states, and they paid for me to go get my MBA, which was nice. And most people don't take advantage of that benefit. Well, I took every advantage I could, and they paid for me to go to Capitol and get my master's. And while I was finishing that, I got the bug to start my own business because I bumped into a neighbor who was a coach, Bruce. And he talked to me about it, and his background was banking. He said, your background doesn't really matter. What matters is if you like to help people and you enjoy working one-on-one with people and helping them to grow and learn and progress and take on more responsibility. And I always did that in the plant, and it was a perfect fit.
That's awesome. Yeah. So when you first got introduced to us, what was it about Action Coach, about our team, about what we're building that said, yeah, this is definitely the right fit for?
Well, I think the culture is probably the first thing that attracted me. It's positive. You get paid to learn. So I always like to learn, and I still enjoy the heck out of it. And it doesn't matter what it is, all kinds of things, but you actually earn more if you love to learn and learn more. And then you help other people to learn. And that is one of the big things. Again, positivity, flexibility. And the biggest thing I think for me, Craig, and this is just personal, is I had control. I could have control of my own destiny. So I would be the one driving the bus, my own bus, right?
Yeah.
And of course, now I have a business partner, but my business partner and I, Peg, have very similar work styles, very similar positivity and those kind of things. So it helps a ton.
Yeah, it really does. And you guys do so well together, very similar styles, culture, all that, but you've got very complementary styles as well about you.
Yeah, different. Yeah, but it's enjoyable. Yeah. So I guess that was the big thing, is being able to determine who you're going to work with, how you're going to work with them, set your schedule. If you want to go really fast and build your business fast, you can do that. If you want to go a little slower, that's fine, although I don't recommend that. But you can go at the pace that is good for you.
Yep, exactly. And how did you meet Peg originally, Pete?
It was at one of your events over in Indiana. What's the name of that little town right across the border?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of it now.
Anyway, you had a regional event, and we all went to the event together, and we met. And then she was one of the folks that when she became a coach, she wanted to go talk to other people. And I had an office in one of my clients' buildings. One of my first clients offered me an office, and I took it because I did not care to work from home at the time. And I moved into their building. Well, she came to visit me after a couple of months of being an Action Coach. And then we decided to do a workshop together. So a workshop to draw prospects in. I had done workshops with other coaches. And when Peg said, I'm going to have 8 people in the seats, she did it. And then her dad came to the workshop and saw the two of us present together. And he said, you guys are complementary. You say things a little differently. She's a little louder than you are. Her background's different. Man, woman, you guys should work together. So we tried it on a client. The client loved it. So that was 14 years ago.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Denny is the one who teed that up. That's pretty cool.
He did. Yeah. He said, this makes sense. You guys should just work together.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you mentioned culture was the first thing that really drew you. I know for me, coming out of the corporate world, and you came out of the corporate world as well, originally I was drawn by the culture as well. I really wanted to be around like-minded people, and I already thought that way in general, but I was just in environments that didn't live that by those kinds of principles. And so I kind of discounted Action Coach saying, oh yeah, our culture is really for real. This is who we are. You better fit. Don't care what your background is. Don't care how successful you've been. You're not going to do well if you don't fit our culture. And I pseudo discounted it. And I thought, okay, they're just, all they care about is if I'm on board and I'm paying my royalties and I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be in charge of my own destiny. I'll have an arm's length contract and I'll make my own culture internal to my own business. And I came in and found, oh my gosh, it really is for real. And if people don't fit, it's really not a good fit for them. And if people do fit, it's pretty amazing. So could you elaborate on your experiences with that?
Well, I think, and I was in a business, the chemical manufacturing business, that was very intense. The plants never shut down, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They never shut down ever, holidays, nothing. And so 24 hours a day, you were always worrying about what could happen. And, sometimes it was a zero-sum game. Somebody makes a mistake, starts something up wrong. Well, somebody's got to be disciplined. There's always got to be somebody at fault, right? And really, the cultural point of abundance with Action Coach is one of the biggest things that keeps me attracted to it, that if I learn something and I teach it to one of my clients and one of my clients uses it in their business and helps them grow a little or do a little more with a little less effort, everybody wins. And that's really what it's about. It's about me trying to unleash potential in other people. And it's all positive if that's what you focus on. If you focus on how do I unleash the potential in this person's business and in themselves, and when you do that, the rewards just come to you, and you don't know when that's going to come, but they'll give you a referral. Or I just got off a referral phone call this morning with a referral from a long-term client of ours, and we have a full-fledged diagnostic next Wednesday. But those things just happen because you help somebody grow their business and make their life better. You end up being able to grow your own business.
Yeah, exactly. And
but the abundance thing is very different than some parts of corporate America. And I don't miss most of it. I miss the jokes that the guys told me in the chemical plant. That was the most fun thing of all. But a lot of the other political things, I don't miss any of them.
Yeah, I don't either. And the abundance within Action Coach, speak more about that too, in terms of sharing.
Oh yeah, and this has been quite a few years, but there were 2 or 3 of the long-term coaches, Randy and Dave Beam and a couple others that I reached out to early on, not only before I purchased my franchise, but in the first year or 2 of when I was a coach. I called those guys and I went down and visited Dave, I visited Randy, and they told me everything I wanted to know. If I was confused about something, they would spend an hour explaining it, or they'd spend 10 minutes, whatever I needed, they just gave me. And they didn't do it because they had to, they did because they want to.
Yeah, and you guys
I try to do the same thing myself, that if a coach needs help, we'll help them. Because any mistake they might be about to make or think they might make, we've already made it, and hopefully learned a little bit from it, but you make mistakes along the way, but you want to share everything you have, and it's good for everybody when you do that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I was just going to mention you and Peg are really amazing at that, as well as the vast majority of the Action Coach team around the world. And
Right.
And like you said, learning from mistakes, it's like, why, if you're new, why learn all the same mistakes the rest of us have already? Just
Sure.
start where we're at.
Well, that's an important component of being a team, right? Is to be able to ask for help and to be able to give help. So, and you have to do both, right?
Exactly. Now, one of my concerns when I was first looking at Action Coach was that we are a franchise. And I thought, my gosh, because the franchises I knew about were typically automotive or fast food and that kind of stuff. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be cookie cutter. It's going to be,
Right.
handcuffed to policy and procedure and things like that. But what I really found was you got to add your own critical thinking to this, and you get a lot of creativity and a lot of ability to make it your own. Could you speak to that from your experience, Pete?
Yeah, I think that is, again, one of the big things that attracted me to the business and keeps me positive about the business is that we work with people that we love to work with. That's it. If you like to work with somebody who's loud and gregarious and fast paced, that's cool. If you like to work with someone who's studious and quiet, that's cool. You get to choose the types of clients that you want, and they'll be attracted to you, and you can select the ones that you want from all the people that you could coach. Like in Columbus, for example, there's probably 30,000 businesses, and you need 15 to have a great coaching practice. A little less, a little more, but so there's all kinds of opportunities, and a lot more opportunity you could ever take advantage of. And you can work with people that you just hit it off with, and those are the folks that become your long-term clients. Peg and I, both of us, our clients stay with us on average 6 years. So 72 months, that's the average. So there's some are 12 or 13 years. And the reason is we develop we get great results. We develop great relationships with them and their employees. So in most of our firms, we not only coach the owner, but we work with their managers, leaders, sometimes their hourly employees. And we develop long-term relationships because that's what it's about. It's about long-term.
Yeah, and it's not just a business relationship; it's a personal relationship.
Absolutely.
As well, is it not?
Right. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
And so Pete, you mentioned referrals as a way that you get a lot of your business from, and I know a lot of your clients came from referrals from other clients. Right. But what are some of the other marketing strategies that you have used, especially in the very beginning when you started, that worked really well for you?
Yeah. Well, one of the things, a couple things. I'll give you 2 examples. One is doing phone calls, direct phone calls. Now, with the pandemic, we're all condemned to be at home most of the time, right?
Yeah.
I've gone back to that. So it's back to the future. So we make outgoing phone calls to business owners, and we've got, various lists of types of businesses. So there are certain businesses during this type of a pandemic that are extremely busy. They've got more business than they can handle.
Yep.
So we're calling them and talking to them and developing relationships that way, because we can't go to a networking event, right? Now, in the past, I did some of that in the past as well, quite a bit of it. In the past, I would do what I would call bold calls. I would park my car in an industrial park and just knock on 20 doors. So walk around the park and go from business to business in one of these industrial areas, and talk to each person and hopefully talk to the business owner, or at least get their business card so I could call them later. So I did that, and that works. Everything works if you do it well, you do a lot of it, and you do it over a long period of time. Those are the 3.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what activity it is, it applies to everything. I mailed books. In fact, one of our long-term clients, the architectural firm, they've been with us for 13 years. I mailed them one of Brad Sugar's books with my business card stuck in the page where the 5 ways is. And
did you mail it to Mark? Was Mark running the business at the time?
Mark, yeah. He was the president. I mailed it to him and called him up. And he said, yeah, come on down and be with us. And he became a client like that. Boom.
And how many referrals has he given you through the years?
Oh yeah, plenty. Yeah.
And how many
And
referrals came from some of those referrals through the years?
well, about 60, about 2/3 of our clients come from referrals.
That's awesome.
And Peg and I have a firm. We have one employed coach currently. We're going to add more. So we hired a full-time marketing person last fall, a year ago, right after the Scotland conference. We hired Julie. Hi, Julie. And she's awesome. So we know we have to build more than just a referral-based business. We want to grow a little faster so we can bring on coaches. So we've got her working on things as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so when it comes to the services side of the business, the actual coaching, getting results, forming relationships, et cetera, is really, really important and leads to retention on a big way.
Right.
But our systems are not cookie cutter. Every business is different, and we've got to add our own, we've got to customize it for the individual client or for your own individual business compared to maybe how a different action coach is utilizing our tools and systems. So could you speak to that a little bit, Pete?
Yeah, I think that's, for me anyway, it's one of the fun parts of this is you get to go in, talk to an individual business owner who has an individual business, and they're all in different stages, even if it's the same business as one of your other clients or a couple of your other clients. They're always in a different spot. And then you get to learn where their business is. And in some cases, all cases, you've got to look at their numbers and find out where's the opportunity. And then get them to see, that's what the coaching part is about, is get them to see where the opportunity is. And zero in and go, holy cow, my conversion rate is really low from lead to client or from lead to customer. There's where our opportunity is. So you get them to choose, hey, this is where I want to focus. Great. Well, there's probably 80 different things we could do in terms of helping them with conversion rate.
Right.
Of all those different things, having that discussion and talking about it and finding out, well, what are they attracted to? What are some things that they would be willing to work on? And then getting them to make a decision about what they're going to work on, and make a plan, and then make sure they do it and hold them accountable to actually get it done.
Yep.
So every one of them, Craig, is different. And I think that's one of the things that keeps it fresh all the time. You're always, and every business, you make an improvement here and you move the business up, it gets better. You got to systemize to make sure it stays that way. And then you got to look around for what the next opportunity is and then drill into that and then figure out where the opportunity is there. Learn how to change it, test some things. Once you find something that works, make that better. So it's an iterative process that goes on for years. And over time, also, we work with our owners to reduce the amount of time that they have to spend in the business or thinking about the business even, to where they're delegating and creating other leaders that can carry it on when they're gone. Exactly. Or if they just want to go to Florida and get a check in the mail.
Yeah, whatever their dreams and goals are, that's what we're going to help them get to, right?
Sure. At
the end of the day.
Yep.
So when it comes to clients, what kinds of clients do you guys work with? What types of industries, what sizes?
So, yeah, it's a variety. An HVAC company, commercial HVAC company I just got off the phone with this morning that we're starting to work with. They've got 350 employees just here in Columbus. So they do large scale refrigeration projects, capital projects, and maintenance on big buildings, those kind of things. We have a law firm. We have a small manufacturing company. We have a roofing company. We've got companies that do siding and windows. We've got remodeling firms. We have a home builder, and they're so busy they can't hire fast enough. We've got service-based businesses, those kind of things. So it's just a whole variety, and that's, I think,
we've got veterinarian clinics.
Like we have multiple veterinarian clinics, a real estate development firm, an architectural firm, and the good thing is that if you like to have certain types of businesses where you can get a couple of those, and then I like to, after you get a couple of those, well, let's get a couple of these other ones and learn about that business.
Yeah, it's kind of fun that way.
Transferable skills. If you learn that something applies here, well, it usually will apply to somebody else.
Exactly. So Pete, even though you came out of a operations, you were an operations exec prior to this in the manufacturing world. So on paper, you know, a headhunter, if you were looking for another job, would pigeonhole you into that. Obviously,
Right.
you're working with clients of all different shapes and sizes and industries.
Sure.
So you don't need to have, as an action coach, you don't need to have an expertise in any specific industry to do well at this, do you?
Well, the thing that I like to remind clients of is that they're the technical expert in their business, right?
Yeah.
They're the butcher, the baker, the barber, you know, the manufacturer. They know all that, the technical things about their business. Where our expertise is in people and leadership and business. And it applies to every business. Every business operates pretty much the same, right? Generating leads and converting those into customers and all those kind of things. And then every business needs people. They need relationships with their employees, with their subcontractors, with their customers, with their clients, right? And those things are universal. And most of, I'd say 2/3 of our time is spent on the people side. How are you helping your leaders to grow? How are you helping your managers to manage? How are you helping your employees to be nice to customers? A lot of our work is done on how do we help our employees and our firms become better people so that they attract more business. And that's pretty universal.
It really is. So what was your vision when you first joined Action Coach, and what is it today? How has that changed at all through the years?
Well, back then it was probably, you know, let's get a certain amount of income and do it, you know, Monday through Friday. That was me. You know, a lot of people have big visions when they start. I didn't. It was just, hey, I want to replace my chemical plant income with this income, and I would like to do it in less than 50 hours a week, you know? So yeah, no problem. That's done. I had a vision of having a house at the lake. Well, I'm in it right now. So
your background doesn't show your lake.
Well, actually, I can show you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, pull it up.
You want me to? Yeah, I'll show you what it really looks like.
Pull up your real view.
Yeah. So it's not farmland. Now there's farmland around me, but let's see here. Background. There we go. I'm working.
Your house is amazing. Some of the parties you've hosted there, it's very cool.
Okay, there we go. There it is.
Very nice.
Yeah, another day in paradise, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, so it's not bad. Yeah, so I had that as a vision. I've got 3 adult children, so they all can come here at the same time, and I have plenty of room for them.
And eventually the grandbabies.
Well, I don't. There's no danger of that right now. You know, they're all quite happy being single. So, yeah, and really, what our objectives are now, as Peg and I, is to maintain our, 4 to 4.5 day per week work week, and add a couple of coaches. I am updating my kitchen here at the lake, so that's going to be a major renovation project. So I'm doing that. And Peg is actually buying a lake home because she's been at mine enough where she's like, okay, we need one of these.
Now is she going to be on Apple Valley too?
I don't know. She's looking. They're actually coming up to an open house this weekend. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
We'll see. Yeah.
That's good news. I got to pop her a text and encourage her on that. That's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Annette wants to start looking up there too. So who knows? Maybe we'll get the whole Action Coach community up there. Take over the lake.
The lot's for sale right next to me.
That'd be very cool. So and now you guys will actually coach clients and do alignments and onboarding sessions and things like that from the lake, right?
Yeah, we had a client up here a month or so ago. He and his general manager came up one afternoon. We did a little bit of work and then had a nice meal and went out on the boat and just spent some time together. So that's one of our multiple retention strategies, and it works.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, where did your employee coach, Michelle, where did you meet Michelle originally? And tell that story a little bit.
Well, Michelle was a client of Peg's for about 4 years. her dad owned a veterinary practice. He was a veterinarian. She is not. But he did not enjoy the business side of it. He liked the veterinary part of it, dealing with the animals and the clients, but he didn't enjoy the business. So she came into his business as his general manager and did that for many years. And Peg helped them grow that firm and then increase the value of it to the point where he could sell it to a larger company and retire with enough money to be able to retire on. And before
and
that,
prior to that, he didn't have his retirement funded, did he?
He didn't have anything. He didn't have any retirement. And it's a great story. And she was so excited about it that after all that got shaken out, she called Peg and said, I might like to be a coach of yours. And that was 4.5, almost 5 years ago. And she's a great coach. She brings on clients. She keeps clients. She has done a lot in the veterinary space. Probably 2/3 of her clients are vets. Yep. Because she knows that business very well. But she's got several other clients that are in the contracting business, and one's a property developer. So she's branching out into other areas, and she's doing great at it. And Michelle keeps her clients. She was a North American Coach of the Year year before.
A couple of years ago, yeah. She's yep. Awesome and totally fits the culture. She's delightful. Yep. So yeah, turned a client into an actual coach. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Lived it enough that she said, I want to do that too. Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, so, it works great for her. And she's probably working 3 days a week and earning more than she did when she worked at the other place 5 days a week.
Wow. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So she's got life balance because she's got kids.
Yes, she has 2 young children, and her husband is a believer now.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's like,
was he not in the very beginning?
What's that?
Was he skeptical in the very beginning?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's an analytical guy, and I understood. He had no idea what we're talking about, and it sounded, how can this be kind of thing? Well, it can't.
Yeah. Sometimes I pitch myself that we get to do what we get to do.
Yeah.
So, talk about briefly what your the support and the community from us as master licensees and then ActionCOACH in general.
Oh, sure. I think with respect to you and Annette, you guys are the master licensees for us. It's been that way for 16 years for me. You guys have always been there for me personally. And you always have several times a year group events, and again, the pandemic is an exception, but group events where we get together and coaches share things that work for them or mistakes that they've made and what they've learned from it. And we all learn from each other, and it encourages, that culture encourages us to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody and ask for help. And hopefully people are freely doing that. I did it a lot. I probably didn't do it as much as I should have at times. But when I did, it was always the right thing to do, and I called Annette a lot in the beginning, when I was having a rough week or a rough day or whatever, and she was always helpful. And that's been really good. The larger organization, the North American Conference and the global conferences are great. It's congruent with what we tell our clients to do, to always be learning and to spend money on learning. And, the side benefit is we've gone to some really cool places in the world, Australia and, all kinds of places to learn, right? And have some fun. And we've been able to travel all around the world.
Yeah, it is very cool. Speak to like the North American Conference, because a number of years ago we changed it to BizX and started bringing clients. Talk a little bit about the client experience and the value of bringing clients.
Yeah, and we built that up with our clients. We have a community we have several things that we do during the year to create a community with our clients so they get to know each other. So we're not just coaching businesses separately. We get them so they get together several times during the year as our firm. And we brought, I think, 30 or 32 people down to Nashville in February before the pandemic. Yeah. More than 30 people. And I think we won 9 or 10 awards from all of our clients. But we got them down there and celebrated and learned with them. The 2 days of conference, every evening, we brought them back to our room as a group and went through a little download of what everybody learned that day. So people brought their notes and we learned a little bit, and then we went out and had some fun, and it was really good. So that we've got them to where they expect to go to an event and learn every year.
Yeah. And what's the value of them meeting other action coaches and clients from around all over North America? How does that help reinforce what you're teaching and what you're coaching them on, and the value prop overall?
Well, I think it helps reinforce the value of abundance, right? Yeah. We're going to give away what we know to others just to help them because we can, not for any other reason, because we can. And that's what we need. We should do as people. We should do that, right? If I learn something and I give it away to somebody else, I'm going to do it freely. I'm going to do it with gratitude, because there for the grace of God go I, right? If I make a mistake because I didn't want to learn from somebody, or I didn't give something to somebody, then it's not good. So we get them in the routine of abundance, and it helps them realize that the abundance thing is real, and all these coaches are very giving, and that they also get to see world-class speakers, Jack Canfield and all these other people that you hear about that we've been in front of and talked to and learned from directly over the years.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So let me ask you this, Pete. If you would have said, hey, I think I want to do this completely on my own and not be part of Action Coach to do this, do you think you'd ever be able to be where you are today?
No, you're going to earn less and work more. So if that's what attracts you, do it.
It's pretty simple.
I mean, really, you're going to have a harder time getting a business that's highly leveraged. One of the great things about Action Coach and Brad is that the mindset is on leverage. And it's not just, greedily about me. It's about helping my clients understand that too, that you need to price well, you need to get value for what you give, and you need to help people. When you do, it comes back to you tenfold.
Yep, exactly.
And you might never learn that when you're on your own.
Yeah, very, very good point. And now COVID, we're still in the middle of COVID and things like that. Yep. And certainly there was some short-term blips automatically. Right, but right. How is the client relationships through COVID? Have you been able to retain clients? Are you able to grow clients going through this? How do you think COVID will ultimately impact your business?
Well, there are several different aspects of it. One of it is that a lot of our clients have gotten very used to doing things over Zoom like this. And that makes you more efficient. If I can have one call right after another on Zoom for an hour each with zero travel time, saves a lot of time. It actually saves them time too, because our meetings are generally a little shorter, they're a little more focused, and we get more done in less time. So that's one. Two is that a lot of our businesses, probably I'd say 50% of them, are busier than they were before the pandemic. So they're growing and they're working on hiring people. So we've got all that activity going on. There are a couple of them that were in businesses that were affected in a way that really caused a big downturn, and that's okay. We keep in touch with them. What we did when the virus first started, and a couple of our businesses actually had to shut down, either entirely or mostly shut down, we continued coaching them. And when the worst part of it passed, they got right back on board and started back up at the same rate they were at before. So that's the abundance mindset, is that, hey, we're going to help you. You need our help still. Yeah. You may need it more than you did before. Some of the clients I talked to multiple times during the week, where in the past it might have been once a week. So, but that's what they needed. So we gave it to them. And it helps retention.
Fantastic. And Pete, just to wrap up, for somebody that's exploring Action Coach and considering this as their future, what would be your advice in general? And then secondarily, they should definitely do this if fill in the blank, and definitely don't do this if and fill in the blank?
Sure. Yeah, I think the biggest thing I think would be to talk to some coaches or listen to some of these videos where you're actually listening to an action coach that's been doing this for a while and what it has done for them. And I think that's probably a key. If you want to control your own destiny, again, that's one of the things I like about this the most. If I want to have an income here, then I can do that if I want to. And if I want to be a little lower and work a little less, that's fine too. But you have complete control over where you're going to end up. And it's enjoyable. I mean, helping people to grow personally and in their business is very enjoyable, and it gives you great satisfaction. And if you're not someone who has a lot of self-discipline or can set something and say, I'm going to do this, and then do it every day if it needs to be done every day, if you aren't able to do that, then this is not the thing for you. You've got to be able to take action, and a lot of it over a long period of time to get where you want to go.
Great advice. And, any parting comments at your end? Anything we didn't talk about that you want to share?
Just that this has been a good thing for myself and my family. I have 3 adult kids, and I think they have learned some things about business and about how to control your life that I've learned through this business that I didn't expect those lessons for them from this. So that's been good for the 3 of them.
Very, very good point. The life-changing aspect of it as well, and passing on the family is a big component to this. So thank you so much, Pete.
Sure.
Really appreciate it.
All right. Take care.